Hello, everyone. Welcome to Informed TV. This is a late night broadcast. I want to talk to you about this new development. Now, we thought that it was a word in passing where we thought that Trump would actually not really do this, but due to the fact that the Democrats refuse to change the laws, they refuse to change the laws. They control Congress. That means that and they've said with their own words, they have said it with their own words that, oh, we have sanctuary cities. We welcome the immigrants. Now, see, they said that they welcome the illegal immigrants. Doesn't matter who they are, where they come from, because we don't know who they are. We don't know where they come from. We're just going to send the people to the sanctuary cities, like they said they wanted, they created. Now, but what Trump is doing, he's taking their bluff. He's saying he's going to take them at the word where they say they're going to they welcome all the immigrants. And then all of a sudden, the Democrats say that this is a horrible thing. You're being cruel. Why are we being cruel? Because you won't change immigration laws. You said that, like, you blame Trump for being so cruel to those who want to come to this country, and you said that Trump was not telling the truth when he said that some of these people are criminals that are coming across there, drug traffickers, sex traffickers, MS-13. That you said, oh, who is MS-13? You don't even know who you told everyone. You told your constituents that you didn't know who MS-13 is, but you told your constituents, your own voters, that you care about the immigrants. All of a sudden, when reality hits, Trump is going to force you now to take you at your own word. He's going to now force you to open your mouth and take and receive what you said out your own mouth. Now we find out that you said this is horrible. This is being cruel. This is unusual. No, it's called living in reality. You decided to not change the laws. You said we don't need a border. You Democrats said that. And guess what's going to happen, Democrat voters? Because you voted Democrat, you're going to have people in your cities. They're going to be filled in Los Angeles, filled in every city in California, because you voted Democrat. Because your Democrats think that illegal immigrants are more important than the American citizen. That they think that illegal immigrants have more weight than the American citizen. What's her name? Alexandria Cortez. She says they're more American than we are. Well, looks like you Democrat voters will have to decide, do you want more of the very thing that Trump said would happen, or are you going to listen to your Democrat colleagues and things as your jobs are taken out the way? Now when reality hits, suddenly you have a problem with your own words. That's because you really never believed your own words. And that's really the case with liberalism. You think that you have this moral high-mindedness where you think you're better than anyone else. But then when we say, okay, well, let's see how well you like this, Nancy Pelosi, we're going to put them right at your doorstep of your gate. Notice, Nancy Pelosi, you've got a gate. I think they need to go in your yard, Nancy Pelosi. Why not? You've welcomed them. Why don't you bring illegal immigrants into your house, Nancy? How about all you Democrats with a big mouth, who accused Trump of being cruel to illegal immigrants? Now, when the rubber meets the road, you can't handle it. You think it's cruel. You think he's being racist when he's only doing what you said you want to do. You want to make your city a sanctuary city. Well, how about 6 million illegal immigrants in that one city? We would just imagine that. And you Democrat voters, just imagine that you voted for it. You asked for it by voting Democrat. Suddenly, people say, huh, I don't think I ever was a Democrat. Yeah, perhaps you weren't. Perhaps you weren't because you lived in reality. But when reality hits, now it's a problem. The issue that you Democrats have is that we live in a real world, and you need to start living in one too. You need to start living in the real world. When you start seeing heads rolling across your street with MS-13 gangs taking over your city, running it with crime, kidnapping your own children, like what's happened in Mexico, kidnapping your own kids for ransom, your police are overrun. You've vilified the police officers. You've vilified the police officers with your propaganda, trying to attract the black vote, trying to attract the Latino vote. You've made a criminal. You've attacked your own law enforcement, Democrats, and you support that. Well, guess what's going to happen? Criminals will run your cities, and then the voters will have to decide: do I really want to stay voting Democrat, and do I want to stay in this city? Because illegal immigrants cannot vote. They can't vote. So you're gonna have a problem because once they start voting, once we realize who they are, then they're gonna be deported. They don't want to do that, so they're not gonna vote. You see, it's a catch-22. No one wants to. No one's gonna vote because their name is gonna be registered. We're gonna find out who they are, where they're at, and the illegal immigrants are like, no, I'm not gonna vote. So what you immigrants gonna do now? Because now you've made enemies out of your own voters because you didn't care about your own voters, you didn't care about your own constituents. You have burnt the candle in both ends. On top of that, on top of that, Democrat voters, Democrat politicians, you're killing off your own future voters because you're promoting abortion on demand and you're promoting gender confusion policies. So now you're not reproducing. Now, on the other side, we believe in having families. We believe in our wonderful relationships and things like that, husband-wife relationships. And also, guess what? The people in South America, they believe in husband and wife relationships too. Once they find out that you support something else, do you think they're really going to vote for you? No. You have literally gotten yourself in a checkmate. I think the only solution you have is to agree with Trump, and maybe you would want to secure the borders because your party is dead. Your communist socialist party is dead. Now, why would they even want to vote for you all? Because you call yourself Democrat socialists. You don't, they're going to say, we don't want to vote for you anyways. We're going to vote for Republican because at least Trump let us in, which is a really interesting situation, which is interesting. And the fact that now Trump didn't actually let him in. You with your open borders let him in. But now Trump is just going to, okay, he said, open your mouth and you're going to push him right in those cities. Because what's going to end up happening is that your cities are going to be overrun, just like Trump said. You're going to have crime. You're going to have all kind of things. Whatever the culture is down there, it's going to be the reality of your cities. So you, California, your cities, they don't pay taxes. They pay absolutely no taxes. So we're going to get your tax revenue from California. Where are you going to get it? You're going to have some trouble, aren't you? So this is why, if you're going to vote, you better vote for a candidate that puts the American people first. And therefore, you may want to stop voting Democrat by this next term because you're about to lose your whole city. You're about to lose your own states. This is the problem with the Democrats. They don't care about the American citizen. But we'll see how this turns out. Because unless the Democrats in Congress change the laws or unless we vote them out, we're going to have a massive problem in our hands because the Democrats critic catch and release. So now where are they going to go? They're going to go right into the Democrat cities. I suggest that you voters vote every single Democrat out of office or else you're going to be in for a citywide disaster. And they're going to tax you and tax you and tax you to fund all these little places, This is what's going to happen. And it's going to cause a bankrupting of this country and everything else because you keep voting Democrat. They don't care about us. So now, even if Trump takes them at their word, it's still going to be detrimental to you all. And unfortunately, to everybody, unless you all act and stop voting Democrat. Don't just go to Republican cities and then do the same policies there because you're destroying your own nation. So Trump is forcing you to really think about what you're doing because right now the Democrats are getting cold feet on their own proposals. So I suggest you see that the Democrat Party is a lawless party. They don't care about law and order. They don't care about human lives. They don't care about American lives. They're lawless. And guess what? They're going to invite more lawlessness until it completely consumes their whole city. And lawlessness, you'd want to have law and order Otherwise, you have no security in your city. But Democrats don't care about law and order. They live in their tight-knit communities. Those Democrat politicians that people, not all Democrats. This is why I encourage the Democrat voters to start thinking about who they vote for, and don't be ashamed about voting Republican, because as one of the politicians says, we all are Republicans. We all believe in the rule of law, that there's equality under the law, that, and not just majority rules, but we're all equal under the law. And that's for a rule republic. No matter if you're a minority, whether you be black or white, we're all equal. And therefore, we need to hold people accountable for their actions. This is why. If you don't hold people accountable for their actions and hold them accountable for their own words, then you're going to have chaos. They're going to say, okay, well, we'll allow them to follow the rules, but we don't have to live by the rules. No, Democrat politicians, you're going to have to live by the rules too. In fact, because out of your own mouth, you said you want to make your city a sanctuary city until you make your city a sanctuary city. You see, so now Trump is forcing you to really accept what you say, and believe in what you say, because obviously you never did, and therefore everyone can see now that was a lie. It was an utter bald-faced lie. You lied to those college students that you cared about and you lied to them. You know, even the college students know that socialism, they don't like socialism, because when it comes to them and they have to give up their money, they have to give up all of their wealth to take care of other people suddenly. Or let's say if it was a GPA and they had to give up, they work so hard for that GPA and they have to now spread it out to other people, share their GPA with other people. So now instead of having a 4.0, they have to get a 2.5 because they need to bring other people's grades up to counteract for their good grade, the privilege of having a good grade. You see, liberalism does not work. And now Trump is going to force you to eat your liberal words until everyone says, wow, voting Democrat really stinks. Why in the world vote for them? They don't care about us at all. And that's the issue. So this is how Trump is making uninformed people informed. He's making people who just talk a lot and are just emotionally unhinged against Trump to force them to think about the policies they're welcoming into their own communities. You're going to have the drug dealers, the sex traffickers, the rapists, the kidnappers, the same things that are happening in Mexico. You've just welcomed it into your cities because you didn't believe a word that Trump said. Media, why don't we put them by your doors, wherever you live at? Don Lemon, all of the people, all you CNN, MSNBC, Rachel Madcow, I know it's Mad Dow, but put them by your cities, by your home, people who you don't even know. You don't even know who they are, where the background is, but you just welcome them. Welcome them in because you don't know who they are. So now, well, I think we should know who they are. Welcome to the Republican Party. Welcome to the conservative movement. Thank you. I knew you were a Republican. I knew you were conservative. Yes, right. We ought to know who they are. But if you keep on receiving funding from George Soros, who doesn't care, who lives outside this country, who wants to see the destruction of this country, those policies, those liberal college professor cult policies that he's pushing in the next generation, they don't work. And now Trump is forcing you to think about the decisions you made by voting Democrat and by agreeing with your CNN, MSNBC News. And suddenly you call it dumping. No, you liberals, you called it. You called the dumping. Why are you treating the immigrants like garbage? Because you always have. You never cared about the immigrants. That's the problem with you liberal Democrats. You never really cared about human lives because you didn't care about those lives, people risking their lives because you told them we have an open border. You Democrats told them our borders are wide open. As long as we're in power, we're going to keep our borders wide open while they risk their lives going across deserts, dying, people who are human smugglers, kids being raped and molested. You never cared about those kids, Democrats, because you said the borders are open, we're going to keep them open. You've made deals with the drug cartels. You have made deals with the sex traffickers. You put them in your policies where people can actually um, adopt people easier from overseas, and they can claim that they have residence here and all that kind of stuff. You have made it so much easier for crime to happen in this country. But unless the voters stop voting Democrat, stop putting other people besides the American people, those who bled and died for our freedoms first, then we're going to have more crime all the time. And it's because you people keep voting Democrat. You're going to see it. And there's no place for you to hide either once you keep electing these people. So now we're at a huge crossroads now. You know, we've tried to protect the borders. We got more troops. Trump is putting more troops there to protect our borders. You better hope he can hold back this thing that you have started, this problem that you Democrats have started. You better hope that Trump has enough troops there to hold it back and let people know this. We are full right now. We can't have any more people. You better hope that we get to the bottom of this. Who are responsible for mobilizing these caravans? George Soros. George Soros. You better hope. You better find out who else is mobilizing these caravans. The Marxist, socialist, international fascist groups are being funded by multi-billionaires and millionaires, socialist billionaires and millionaires, who also fund a lot of the news media. You better hope that people stop voting for these Democrats. Otherwise, we're going to have a nation that has complete chaos and lawlessness. And for the sake of the Democrat Party, guess what? They're not going to vote for your foolishness, anyways, when they come here. They're just not going to vote for a socialist regime in the Democrat Party, which is what you've promoted. Single payer health care, socialism. Gun confiscation, socialism. They're not going to socialism taking all their money, owning the businesses and the banks. They're not going to accept it when they come over here because they want something different. They want this to be a land opportunity. You will be replaced, Democrats, and they're going to be voting Republican. So it's checkmate for you. It's checkmate. Game over. Game over. Unless you start realizing that you are accountable for your own words, man, you're all in trouble. Thank you.